Welcome on in, everybody, to the Postgame pod here from Jordan-Hare Stadium. Nathan King, joined by Jason Caldwell. Auburn takes down Ball State 42-3 to open up their home schedule. Hugh Freeze said it well postgame, said, look, you get seven of these opportunities in front of your home crowd. You need to go out and make every single one of them count. And really not much resistance for this Auburn team tonight against Ball State. Kind of went the way that we expected it to in this game. I think the most interesting part going into it offensively, Jason, was wondering how much they would do the passing game, how much they would try to work the passing game, since Baylor did not let them do that at all. Ended up being a really, really efficient day for Jackson Arnold. And you said it in your story. I think patience was the right word, because yes, were there some sloppy moments while they were trying different things out? Sure. Could you have just run RPOs for 60 points in this game? You could have, but you wanted to look at some different things, and for the second straight game now, last week he did it with his legs, this week he did it with his arm. Jackson Arnold took what was given to him, and it ended up being a really good offensive day for Auburn.
Yeah, no, I think patience was exactly the word, and it was a different kind. You know, they weren't kind of determined not to do something like last week. You look at Baylor, they still weren't going to give up the deep ball, but they played soft on the corners and played a little bit stronger at the line of scrimmage at times, but this was the out route day. They were out all day long. They were open. And so you look at it, the ability to go, okay, we're just going to continue to take that. I thought it was another growth moment for this Auburn offense when you start talking about what can you do, because somebody's going to have to choose what they're going to do. You can't take away everything. We saw tonight where you look at Cam Coleman, Eric Singleton, Horatio Fields, Malcolm Simmons, all with 4 catches, at least 4 catches. You go look, they'll spread the ball around. You can run it. The offensive line is doing their thing. So I think that is the strength of an offense. Can you do those things consistently? And for 2 games now, they've said, okay, we're not going to force the issue. Yeah, we want to throw a bunch of deep balls, but we don't have to do that, and they didn't have to tonight.
And they thought about it for a little bit, kind of in the second quarter. And are there nitpicks for this coaching staff to go through for this game? Absolutely. On the offensive side, Hugh Freeze said afterwards, he's like, look, we can find things to complain about. I think they tallied 4 sacks for Arnold because of that one where he went out of bounds. But in truth, it was really 3 sacks, which 3 sacks in the first half against Ball State, not exactly what you want to see. Maybe, they'll be on Jackson Arnold about getting it out a little quicker. But to your point earlier, you're just sort of looking at what that drop back game is going to look like. You're going to need it on clear 3rd and long situations down the line. And so you get that tape out there in this game. But yeah, Arnold was really, really good in this one. Jeremiah Cobb, he had 2 rushing touchdowns in his career before the season started. He now has 3 in 2 games. He started because of Damari Alston not being available, and really, really explosive day for him. Hugh Freeze said it. He said, look, all throughout the summer, I was pegging Jeremiah Cobb as a breakout player for this team. Looks really, really explosive, and I think he's looked like a really good runner. Again, Ball State, not the best defense in the world, but I just think comfort level, he's looked like a really good and explosive runner for them through 2 games.
And the thing he does, he gives you a little bit more of a home run threat. We saw that tonight. Once he gets past that second level, he's a guy that can run off and lead folks, and he did that a couple of times tonight. Darrell Robinson with a big run tonight as well, and so there were opportunities. You're right. If Auburn goes RPO and they're running Singleton across the formation and Malcolm Simmons across the formation and running the quarterback, which they did not have a single called quarterback run for Jackson Arnold tonight. That's a big part of this offense. They did the other things. We need to work on other things to get better. That was the goal coming in. They were able to do that, still get a victory, and come out of here pretty healthy as well.
Yeah, and have a fun night, honestly, in front of this crowd. I thought they were able to have enough big plays to keep people engaged and having a good time. Speaking of keeping people engaged, when the defense comes down here after Auburn turns it over, you would have thought it was the 4th quarter of the Iron Bowl. Nothing like a couple bad calls to get a student section really going.
A horrendous call.
As Hugh Freeze, we were talking about it up in the press box. It almost went back to high school days of when you call a timeout just to chew out the officials.
It was horrendous.
The forward progress call was pretty bad, but Auburn's defense pitches a phenomenal game regardless. Without that turnover, it probably would have definitely been a shutout. But 68 total yards allowed against Ball State. That surpasses the previous high point in recent history of complete domination, which was Georgia Southern in 2017, where you just didn't let them do anything. Fewest yards now that Auburn has allowed in a game since they played Ole Miss in 1985. They gave up 9 yards in that game. You guys were talking about that game in the press room. It was Bo Jackson and the quarterback, the backup quarterback for Ole Miss in that game was Ken Austin, who is Auburn's quarterbacks coach right now. And so, I thought Sylvester Smith put it a really good way after the game, saying, look, whatever you say about the opponent situations, he was like, here's a standard.
Yeah.
It's on film. We
Yep.
know we're capable of doing it, and they're going to bring it up every time they don't meet that standard of, hey, we've seen you do it before.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a very good defensive performance, really aggressive at the point of attack. They got after folks, lots of different guys. Xavier Atkins set the tone early, a couple of plays for him in the way they were doing some things there. So you look at the job they did, being physical at the line of scrimmage, playing a bunch of different guys. And so I thought overall it was a really good performance by this defense.
14 tackles for loss. I think they end up tallying 6 sacks. I mean, he's a guy we've talked about a couple times now in the last few weeks, but Xavier Atkins has just been a really surprise player, somebody that was not necessarily on a lot of people's radars going into this season, but he just brings that really aggressive presence to this defensive front. Kieran Crawford already has 3 sacks now through 2 games.
Yep.
That's a guy who didn't have a sack at Auburn going into this season, so just felt like a complete performance for them on that side of the ball. And now, Jason, you go into a game. South Alabama is certainly a step up from this Ball State team, but still another week now where you're looking at some issues, looking at what you've got on tape, continue to have some time to iron some things out before you head to Oklahoma in SEC play to open up in week 4.
Yeah, you're not worried about playing your best week 12 game in week 3. Just continue to get better. I thought they got better in a lot of areas tonight. Obviously, Ball State's not as good as Baylor. I thought they got it better in a lot of areas. Can you get better heading into South Alabama next week as you get closer to SEC play? Obviously, going to an Oklahoma team that's pretty darn good. So
Yep.
need to shore some things up, continue to kind of tweak some things as you get ready for SEC play.
Yeah, Oklahoma picked up a big win tonight over Michigan, and so we'll see if Auburn's able to break into the top 25. I think that's interesting now going into that game, assuming they can get a win over South Alabama. Maybe you've got a ranked versus ranked game there for them to open up SEC play. But here tonight in Jordan-Hare Stadium, weather held off. It was a fun night with the new light show, new North End Zone video board, which I thought everything was really cool tonight. I thought they did a good job with everything, made for a good atmosphere. 42-3, Auburn takes down Ball State. Jackson Arnold 24 of 28, passing with 3 touchdowns. Jeremiah Cobb couple touchdowns, and then we mentioned 68 total yards for that defense. Really, really nice performance. For Jason Caldwell, I am Nathan King. Be sure to head over to auburnundercover.com. Got all kinds of coverage from this game going into Sunday, and then some recruiting notes as well from Jason and Christian going into the week with a decent bit of visitors this weekend. So we'll catch you guys later, and talk to y'all soon.